Hey guys, here's a little tutorial on the new Christmas heist. So, I'm going to break it down into 4 or 5 steps. Step 1, building the right vehicle for your team. Now, there's 5 different types that you can have. You can have a pusher, a pursuer, a long ranger, a gunner, or a holder. Now, between a pusher and a holder, those two sound very similar, but gear is the main difference between both of them. So, to go into each one, the gunner normally will be a hover or a very quick wedge build that uses machine guns or shotguns. What I would not suggest is have this class or teammate have anything else aside from those 2 weapon types. Because if he's using, let's say, rockets, the downside to him is he can take out enemies really quickly, but he won't be able to take out groups of them. You need someone that can be able to focus from one target to the next on de-wheeling or de-gunning. The next type is the Long Ranger. The Long Ranger will generally sit around in this zone right here and use a whirlwind to peg enemies that come from this gate, the bottom 2, or if any of them come through here, he can get a clear line of sight of them. So the advantage to being the Long Ranger is you have the safest spot from fused drones. Now, if you ever are in a pinch, because the downside to this is you have to be very observant, because by phase 10 or level 10, you get 2 of these missile casters that come out here, 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 and here. You get a pyre or a cricket, and a cricket all the time over here, and a pyre, unless you are very unlucky and you get all crickets. Because it does randomize the enemies sometimes with their weapon type, but not what type of enemy. The advantage to being the Long Ranger is if you are using a chameleon or a water-cooled chameleon and a cheetah, you are going to be able to cloak in and out and not have the enemy see you as you de-gun them, and then they can't do shit because you don't have to worry about the missile casters blowing up on the tree whatsoever. The only 2 enemies you have to really worry about are the gunners and the drone casters. Not the fuses, but the drone casters, the ones that lay the missile turrets down, the GT Cobras. So what you want to do is give your ally support during round 10 from up here. You can do it as well at round 20 when Scrooge comes out, but you're not going to be very efficient because the downside to shooting at Scrooge being an autocannon is he has a ton of Nidhogg's on his build that encase his shield. So if you shoot at him, you're going to have to go through at least 2 Nidhogg's. So what I would suggest is focus on all the guys that are dealing passive damage to the tree while Scrooge is trying to distract everyone else. Because that's what they're doing at that point. After that class, the pusher, or the pusher, normally what he will have is a build that comprises of a bulldozer that can push enemies or peg them. And this guy has machine guns or shotguns. Either or will work perfectly as long as they are STs or Spitfires. If you use any other type of gun, they will guaranteed get shot off or knocked off very quickly. This class has a high armor, but a very slow movement, unless you offset it with a Colossus or a Hot Red because energy constraint. But if you don't have any energy constraint, go with the Colossus and use a Jawbreaker cab, because that is one of the heavier cabs that has the more balanced speed, rather than the forgetting the name of the cab now, but the big one, you know what I'm talking about, or the trucker. those two are slow in comparison, and they can't lift a equal amount as the speed of the Jawbreaker. So what I would suggest is using the Jawbreaker and shotguns. The next class, the Pursuer, what he uses is a hover build with machine guns or equalizers. I would recommend vectors over equalizers with this class just because you can have a more pinpoint accuracy and shoot wheels off like a fly. Now, the next class that I want to bring up is the, forgetting its name. It's either the Engager or something like that, but this class, what you want to have is a Kapkan. This build is designed to be the gear hog, basically. He has a Kapkan, a Chameleon, and either shotguns or machine guns or equalizers. Equalizers are perfectly fine with this class. He's slow, but the advantage to him is he works with the bulldozer build, perspectively on every boss. What he does is lay down a Kapkan. The boss will get hooked on it, and his weapons, unless they are side-mounted like Scrooge's, he can't shoot shit. So, the bulldozer pins him, the Kapkan holds him, and then everyone can wail on him when all the enemies are down, and then boom, you're set to go. Let me think if there's anything else. If you have any questions about movement types or anything else about this video I skipped on, let me know. With the outpour of enemies, generally watch your minimap for what's spawning, because normally missiles will only spawn from the top except for one certain round, and then everyone needs to hop on board for that. The openings right here normally will have drone casters or machine guns, as well with lances, but mainly the melees will come out of these two side gates. If you have any questions, like I said, just leave a comment. I know this isn't the best quality, but this gives you at least some form of guideline to follow for this, which will help you a lot. See you later.